Hey everyone, how you guys doing? This is Jay Randy here. It's Saturday, man. It's Saturday. It's Saturday. Share the video. Hey Facebook, we don't have no right to this song. We just trying to have a good time this Saturday evening. So please don't pause our video. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're just joining me, this is Jay Randy here. We have a very interesting show today, and I would like to ask you to invite a friend so that we can discuss here. All right, so have a great time, and I will start the music here right now so that we can begin the show. All right, so the music is going to be stopped so that we can have the discussion here. Let's see here. Everything seems to be on course here. Let me turn my volume up here, and let me post it here. But this in Liberia is more emotional than logical. All right. So we're going to let this one go. So share the video out there, ladies and gentlemen. Share the video out there. We have a very important and interesting discussion for you today. So please be my guest here. Let me see here. Okay. Let me do this here. Let me find myself here. All right. So let's go down here. All right, I see myself here. I hope you guys can hear me. Where my earpiece at so that I can test. Let me run a quick test here. All right. I am going to run a quick test. Yeah, let's see here. All right. All right, so I can hear myself here. I'm very good to go. All right. I'm only using the computer speaker here. So please share the video. If you're out there, share the video. We do have video to show here too as well. So please share the video. Let me send this to friends out here. We're going to have a very interesting conversation today. And we're also going to do a very unusual thing tonight. Yes, I'm going to do something crazy. I'm going to do something very unusual. So if you want to be part of my crazy Saturday, please be my guest. If you don't want to be alone, invite a friend, because we have a couple of videos that we're going to analyze. So we'll start from the least video to the most important video. All right. So we have two videos here today. I mean, three videos. One is about the street in Monrovia, the potholes. We're going to do something crazy about that one. And then we're going to analyze Joseph Boakai interview with Volcano Shelton. And then last after that, we will be looking at Yeke Koluba interview as well. We will do the full length of Joseph Boakai interview because it's very short. And of course, Joseph Boakai wants to be president of Liberia. So today we're going to be looking at his performance on the interview. And again, I just want you to be here with an open mind. I don't want you to come here very emotional, because politics in Liberia is more emotional than logical. So we have to fight against that. The logical is down, the emotional is all the way up there. So let's do the best we can. I'm not anybody's friend here, so I don't expect you to be my friend when I'm discussing the issue. I want the people of Liberia to live a better life. If you can live a better life in America, there's no reason that somebody in Liberia cannot live a better life as well. All right. So the topic here today is going to be about our interview with Joe Boakai. So let me just try to go to friends here and share the video here today. All right, let's go here and share the video here. And let's go here. Let me see. I see Ba is here this evening. Thank you so much, Ba. And what time is it now? Almost 9 o'clock. That's good. All right. So let's go to Messenger. People are saying that, oh, Randy, you need to send me Messenger message. Okay, so I'm sending the messengers out to everyone here right now. So if you're watching, please be my guest. I'm sending it out to every one of you guys. So share the video, share the video, share the video. I see a lot of friends here tonight. Wherever you are, please be my guest. Have a very good time. All right, let's see here. Let's come to the different group here and let's share that here with you guys. All right, let's share the video. So I'm sharing the video right now on my phone here. And from there, we are going to jump into our discussion. All right. We are going to jump into our discussion. Let's see here. I hope that TV is not disturbing though. Can you guys hear that TV back there? The TV out there, can you guys hear it? It's making noise. If you guys can hear, let me know. I'll go and turn it off. If the TV noise from outside there is disturbing you, please let me know. All right, please let me know. All right, let's see here. Okay. I'm still going down the home here, trying to share all the things in the different group here. Okay. So I think I got it now. Okay. So let's see here. Okay. All right. So we are here. Okay. So share the video, ladies and gentlemen. Share the video out there. All right. Share the video. Be my guest. Oh, I see a lot of strange people here. So, guys, I'm going to do something very crazy here today. Very, very crazy here today. Very, very crazy. And you will say, Randy, you just crazy and you crazy and you crazy. So why don't you invite your friends so that we can start a crazy thing? Like I said, going down the home, we're going to look at a video. Somebody shared a video with me and really wanted me to look at something in the video. But what I pick up from that video is something that I want to share with you. All right. And then I will share that with you. And then from there, we'll go to Joseph Boakai. We're going to analyze Joseph Boakai video and then we're going to come back here. Again, I want to reiterate this to you guys. I'm not on Facebook to support any political party directly. I'm not looking for a job. I'm looking for consulting. All right. Because I feel that Liberia will not be a better country anytime soon. I can change Liberia based on the principle and ethics that I have. But whatever it takes to improve a little portion, a piece of turf in Liberia to improve the life of somebody, some community in the country, I will be willing to work with any administration. But to say I'm going to join an administration to change the country on a larger scale, it's not going to be possible because the citizens, the politicians, the supporters, they are not ready for a total change. They're only looking for a temporary change. So what I can do as my contribution is to just help by consulting. When you consult with people, you are not going to be a follower to them. You are only going to perform based on your skills. I may sound very tough to you guys. I may sound very hard, but I call that as tough love. I must give you guys tough love because to change things around is not as easy as we all can imagine. No, there are some people here in this country here who, hey, Randolph, can you come close the door, please? Where are you, sir? Here, you want your phone out?
Yeah.
All right, can you close my door, please?
Yeah.
All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So there are some people in this country, in other part of the country, even in Liberia, that just want to get a piece of job. So not to delay you, because I know it's the weekend, and perhaps today you have other activities that you want to talk today. So let's begin with the first video. All right. I'm going to describe the video. And after that, this video, we are going to do something very, very crazy. All right. Very, very crazy. Not that I'm going to take off my clothes. Not that I'm going to take off my shirt. No. I'll keep you in suspense. So let's go to the video right now. All right, let's go to the video. This is the video here. By the way, this gentleman you see here, all right, in 2016, this gentleman introduced me to Liberia media. Yes, his name is Daniel Roger. Perhaps you may have watched this particular video. It's not a long video, very short video, I think less than 30 minutes. But there's something that I saw in the video, and I wanted to discuss that with you. So just to warm things up for you, let's go through the video here, all right? Let's go through the video and see what happened here. And again, I want you to have an open mind here, all right? I want you to have an open mind here. Again, my show is more about giving you information. It's about creating awareness. It's about promoting awareness to empower you. So I'm not here to certify any political party. Like I said, I am a consultant. If you call me to consult with you, I will definitely consult with you. All right? But I'm not going to support any political party. I can campaign for you. I can do things for you, but I will not support you. I can do those things through consultancy. Let me say hi to my brother Ashford Gali here. Yes, Ashford Gali, thank you so much for the motivation, your physical exercise. The world is out here seeing it firsthand. So there's nothing like, oh, Ashford drink this, Ashford drinking some kind of to reduce his body. No, that's not true. We are all here on Facebook. Thank God that Facebook is the biggest, TV that we all see, so to speak, to see what every one of us are doing here. So guys, not to waste your time, let's go through the video. After the video, I got some crazy thing to show you. Very crazy thing. And you will not believe it that Jay Randy doing this thing, all right? So let's watch the video here quickly.
Good morning, folks. Today's Monday, the first day of the week, and today is the 1st of November 2021. Now you might be wondering why we're here. We are here to do what we do best. We're going to do the video. We'll share the video, this podcast. We'll actually share the video. I'm an early morning bird. This is examining Liberia under the microscope. And a bit of description. Over there is the Spring Airport. This airport was active during the war. They stay active for domestic flights. Examining Liberia under the microscope is about the good, it's about the bad and the ugly. And you see, over there's a detour now. Over there is a detour because of the headache and stress people go through on this road. We'll take you there. They are detouring now to go over there. On this side is the famous entertainment center Shack PA Rib House is on that side. And so we've come. We have come now to show you. It's early, but this is how we contribute. This is how we contribute our quota to Mama Liberia. You see the stretcher road ahead of you. The people of the community are stressed, heavily stressed. And I don't know, the Ministry of Public Works, there are other feeder roads, there are other community roads that have been paid. The AB Turbo Road, the Suffolk Road, but this is the Matadi Road. This is like a roundabout. You go so, Old Matadi, you go into New, you go into Fiama. But you see the road. You see the road for yourself. It is terrible. And so we have come. I don't know if the people at the Ministry of Public Works, if they're not aware of this, if they are not aware of this road. This road is terrible. And this is a community. Every time I go past this road, it reminds me of an individual who have passed, Gino Rano, peace to his soul. This is the road that goes into the zoo. This road is terrible. It's very, very bad. And because of the, we're going into the dry season, so there will not be much of a headache. But there are pop holes that you can even put a bucket for fresh water. It's such a road. Look over there. Look over there. The road is not too, I don't know the mile, whether it's a mile quarter, I would describe it. Let me see if I can get it done here. This time I can jump. So this is the road.
Let me hold you guys there. And all those who know that the feedback, usually when I'm talking and leave the mic on, the output from the broadcast will interfere with my mic. So what I usually do nowadays, I pause myself and then while the audio is playing, so that way we reduce the level of noise to improve the quality. The reason I brought this video up, you and I have seen so many pop holes in Liberia. And there's one thing I want you to understand from the formation of pop holes. As you look at that picture, and like I said, this is for entertainment. I mean, this is for information. It's not for entertainment. It's for your own learning purpose. If you look at this picture here, as the guy is pointing, and you see the road that passes through the split communities, the reason the pop hole is over there and continue to expand, one thing I want you to understand, that road doesn't have anything that we describe as what a stormwater system. That is when it rains, the water doesn't go anywhere. If you live in America here, just get outside your apartment, your house, go to the curve of the road. The road may be passing through your community or through your city or through your local road. On the side of the road, you will see an area layout to collect the storm water. I don't care, these guys can patch the road over and over. It's not going to change anything. So now you ready for the crazy thing now? Let's go to the crazy thing. So all the pop hole you see here, let's go to the crazy part now, right? All right. So let's go to the crazy part. And I'm going to start acting crazy now. So get ready for that. Very, very crazy. We are going to do something very crazy here today. I'm bringing the stuff up now for you to see. Now, don't judge me now. Just watch what I'm about to do, right? Here, these are different boxes. These boxes here is to elevate this thing here, right? So what we are about to do here is called physical engineering. I'm going to walk you through a process of how the pop hole continuously showing up in Liberia. That pop hole you saw over there. So let's start the process. Every road, and this is mostly about environmental quality with regards to stormwater control. All right. So we environmentalists, our role when it comes to road construction is to properly manage stormwater discharge, rainwater as you call it, to manage that. Because if you don't manage it properly, it will create accumulation of water on the road, and then that water will turn into pop hole. So I want you to just follow me. Let me do this crazy thing here, right? Very crazy, crazy. And after the crazy thing, then we'll go into your politics. So if you want to learn about this thing, stay. If you don't want to learn, just give me 5 minutes and then come back. All right. So let's do something here. Now, every road you drive on, there's a subgrade. The subgrade content mostly is about clay soil. All right. So here I got a candy here. So we're going to build a road. And what we're trying to achieve here is how the pop hole that you saw over there, how it generates. All right. So I'm going to take this candy. All right. So we're going to do some physical engineering here. That's what it is. Physical engineering. So every saw as you go down, is called what? The subgrade. Some of the subgrade are clay soil. So we'll put the clay soil here, right? So that as soon as this is the clay soil, all right? So we're building the road now. All right. We build a road. This is the road here now. Above the clay soil, you may have maybe like sandy soil. And what we're going to do, we are going to take cream of wheat to be our sandy soil. All right. So we're going to take the sandy soil and put it here. So we're facing the road now, right? All right. So this is the road. So underneath this, as you can see, we got it clear here, right? And then we'll put the soil in there. Next thing we're going to do, this is a Nutella, all right? That is going to be what they ask for, the thing you call the quota. That's what we're going to put on the road here. All right. So what we're going to use for our quota is a slice of bread. So we're going to remove this from here, remove this here. And we're not going to eat the bread. So we're just going to put the bread here. And this is our black quota. This is our black quota. So we're going to put a quota here. And then we're going to fix it. So this is the quota that we're putting on the roll. I'm going to put a quota on the roll. All right. So this is the quota here. We're going to fix that nicely. Very, very nicely. So this is what we call physical engineering. So we are trying to convey a message as to how the pipe holes generate on the road. So we're going to remove this from here, put this here, and we're going to bring. So this is the row here, right? This is the row here. So here is the quota. We'll put it on the row. So we got a very nice looking row. Nice looking row. So this is a nice looking row here. Now, what is exposed out here is the jelly I put on the bread, right? So this jelly here is the black quota on the row. But the black quota, what is underneath here? I have cream of wheat down here, and I have some, how they call it, chocolate candy bar. Now, if I continue to pour water in here, the cream of wheat will begin to soak. And then as long as the water continues to go in, it will come to the candy here and it will start to melt. What is happening in that process is the phases of decomposition taking place. The jelly here is the asphalt. It is exposed to the physical environment, but it is not strong enough to withstand water as the water go inside. So we're going to take the water. We're going to start putting water inside. As I put the water inside, the water will start to penetrate in here. And as I continue to put more water inside, what's going to happen to the subsurface layer? The cream of wheat will start to get wet and will start to turn what? Saturated. Now, when you bring your car, you keep riding over here, what do you think is going to be happening? As the water sink, you keep riding over, you got pimping, you got bicycle, you got trucks, you got the big cars passing on the road. They're going to keep sinking in here because the water is just standing in there. And what's going to start happening? as you put more and more water in here, it will start to saturate, and it will start to find a way down here. So as the quota open up, the gel here open up, you start to see cracks. And then the cracks will start to allow the rainwater to go inside of the quota. And then from the quota, it go to the first sand, which is our cream of wheat. And then it go down into what? The clay soil. And then as you ride over it, it becomes very soft. And then you start creating hole and hole. And then the water stay in there. As the car passes over the water, some of the water flashes out, some of the sand and the quota get out, but it starts to create that hole, And over time, if they don't clean it up to patch it over, that's when you get to see the bigger part of the pipe hole. So let's watch again, all right? Continue to watch.
This road takes you to Old Matari, New Matari, into Fiama, back to town. If you went so on this side, you go every new road, every shortcut, you can go Bamoma, you can go so, you can go to town. But there's the road. This is not the aspect of the city. This is the city. Yeah. The road is terrible. The road is ridiculous. You can see erosion, what the erosion has caused to the road. Now, if this road is not paved, it's going to cut, and the people of this community, this district, District 9, will be cut off to the rest of the other community or to town. So you see, now what is the Ministry of Public Works doing?
Now you see over time, this is the erosion taking place because there is no stormwater collection system on the side of the road. The asphalt is gone. If you look to the edge of the green grass here, you will see the asphalt right here, all right? That the quota right here, all right? Some civil engineer will call it turn marks, some will call it blacktop, but normally we call it what? Quota. So if you look at the grass right here to the left side, the right side of the screen, you see the quota here. So over time, the rainwater, the car passing over, it has dug into it. So when you look at the profile of this area here, you're going to see the asphalt here, you're going to see some of the sand, and then you're going to see the clay. So now the water, because there is no way out for the water, is just decaying and decaying and decaying and decaying. All right? So that's what happened. Let's try to wrap the video up because he's almost done. Let's try to wrap the video up, all right? Let's wrap the video up.
I think is the Minister not concerned or authorities at the Ministry of Public Works not concerned? You see the erosion here? The erosion caused this. We're going to go up there. That is where you have all the problems here. From pedestrians, the motorists, just...
Yeah, so I see something, you see, the terminology is different, all right? So in Texas, the big stormwater system, if you ever went to Raditown Market, beyond Raditown Market, that big stormwater collection system, in Texas, it is called Bayou. And that's what Seattle is referring to. So anyone from Texas who visits Liberia and they go down Johnson Street to how they call it there, to Raditown Market, when they see that big stormwater collection system, and you hear that person say, "Oh, look at the trash and all the debris in the bayou," as that person say, "You from Texas, right?" Because the engineer in Texas, that's how they call that, the bayou. But other states will get different name for it too. All right. So I just want to point that out. Yes. So nobody should get confused about what Ciara just said. That no bayou. Bayou is the seen as the on the side stormwater collection system to carry the rainwater, because the quota are not supposed to keep the rainwater. No, the quota are not supposed to keep it, because the quota is like the gel or the peanut butter you put over the bread, and underneath that bread you got candy, you got or let's say you got the cream of wheat underneath it. So in order to keep that cream of wheat dry, the gel or the jelly on that bread, it has to be like the turtle bike, where when it rains, it will just wash the water down so that the water can go. And what Sierra is talking about is the bayou. That is stormwater collection system. We don't have that on many of our roads. And that's why you see most of the time when engineers are building road, we, the environmental engineers, we come there and say, what is the quality of the project? Because the quality of the project will sustain the project. We don't have quality engineers in our country. And that's why these things are happening in the country. All right, so let me progress there and end the video here, all right?
It's just unbelievable. Now, right in the city, now this terrible room, causing headache, causing stress to the people. You see? You can see for yourself. So we're here early morning to come and highlight the road. That the Ministry of Public Works will do everything to have this road paved. Now we're getting information that monies have been allotted for the pavement of this road. This is the information we are getting. There's a serious pothole here. People with smaller vehicles are the ones that feel.
Now that you have understood what I just explained, so now you see all this standing water here. So the little black spot around here, as you can see, if you really look carefully, you will see the little black spot here. Why you think the standing water continue to remain here? Because like to Sierra Point, there is no bayou on the side. To Thomas Point, there is no drainage system, which is almost the same as the stormwater collection. Because when it rains, the rainwater that comes to the surface, that is called the stormwater. And it will have a collection system that Sierra called the bayou. And some are closed, some are open. But as you can see here, there is nothing on the side here. Absolutely nothing on the side to carry the water. So the water stands. So as you imagine from that example I gave, that crazy example, so the jelly on the bread, it has been saturated now. People just driving over the jelly, and we keep going down into the cream of wheat, and now we're also going down into the chocolate chip candy, and deep and deeper and deeper and deeper. And over time, everything will come in, and the next thing you may have a sinkhole, depending on the nature of the soil, but something needs to be done. So even if they come back, it probably will come back. You can spend millions of dollars on the road. If you wouldn't bring in a millions of dollars just to fill in the potholes, but there is no drainage system or stormwater collection system or bayou on the side to collect the rainwater, guess what? You will come back to the same issue again after several months into a year. So the solution to the problem, I don't know. All right? I'm going to tell you the solution to the problem. Because me, I'm looking for money.
Those for the SUVs, of course, they go through. These guys are very impatient. Very, very, very impatient. So you see the road. You see the road. And if this road is not paved, the next rainy season, I'm going to show you that the people of this community will suffer. The road will cut. You can see it. Just a small stretch of road. Small stretch of road. The road is terrible. The road is terrible. So this is the intersection here. You see what erosion had caused. This is the intersection here. Now from over there, all the way here, we're going at the intersection. Let's go into this end of the road. You see erosion here? This is erosion. Now, if it's true that money have been allotted for the pavement of this road, then it's unacceptable. We are calling on you, Madam Acting Minister of Public Works, that the people of District 9 deserve better. The people of District 9 deserve better. The folks Folks, you see the pothole here? You see here? You see here? You see the road? You see the road? So this is we don't mind, this kind of talk we hear it. But it's about the bigger picture of the community. Let's examine Liberia under the microscope. So you see, this road goes to Labasi. That part of the road on my left is going to old and new Matale Park. So we call it on the Ministry of Public Works to do all in its power. We try to get, this is not the responsibility of the citizen. This is the responsibility of the government. So we are calling on the folks at the Ministry of Public Works. We are calling on officials who live in this community that if nothing is done, this road will cut off and it will become a disaster. People are detouring now from that side to go into Matan, and there's a major.
All right, so we will remove the video from there now. So yeah, some of the takeaway here, right? One takeaway for me, it is very, very uncivilized. It is very, very ungovernmental, if that is a word to use, for lawmakers to be involved in road construction. Like for the guy in the Caldwell area, Thomas Awaji in your area there, by the name of Abu, who is always in the constant habit of bringing yellow machine to hit the road and put asphalt on the road and think that the road will be sustained. No. And I think Ciara says something very interesting here that I caught a little bit. It's all about political purpose. Yes, it is about political purpose. So I think to put things into engineering context, if a politician got a project, they need to call on the engineer at Public Works, let them give them the design, the permit to carry out the project. Barrow medicine, why that? The barrow medicine, the medicine not good for the road. The medicine is running the road stomach. Actually, the medicine is running the road stomach. That's what happened over there. So I think they need barrow medicine. I think that was a misrepresentation of that description there. So I think they need to start, because every community, I mean, think about it. We've been in existence for 174 years, and how difficult it is for you to put stormwater on the side of the road, drainage system to collect the rainwater. All right. How bad it is, or how expensive it is. But we are done with that aspect, and I would like to say thank you. Now it is time to move on to the next topic, and that's the topic that I believe. Where's my control sheet? I got my cheat sheet here. All right. So we are going to talk politics now, and I will say this to the Joseph Boakai people: if you are a supporter of Joseph Boakai and think that Joseph Boakai is a direct replacement for George Weah, I got a reminder for you, or I got a hint for you. And that is, you might want to rethink, or you might want to revise your assumption. Yes. Let me say this again. If you think that Joseph Boakai is going to be the direct replacement for George Weah, you need to revise your assumption, because it's not the case. You and I, we are going to analyze, we are going to do a fishbone analysis of Joseph Boakai interview. It's going to be a stop, go, push and stop interview. This interview was conducted by Fukano Shelton, along with two of his team members. And I want you to listen. Before we walk into this interview, I want you to ask yourself, who is Joseph Boakai and what is he looking for? I will provide my answer for you. Joseph Boakai is a long service, government service employee who wants to be president of Liberia. But we know that Joseph Boakai ran against George Weah in the second round and lost. He lost because the government he served for 12 years did not present a better picture to the Liberian people. But Joseph Boakai is coming back now after sitting down for almost 4 years and wants to be president. But my question to Joseph Boakai here is he still in support of the Ellen Johnson Sirleaf political agenda that they used to run the country for the past 12 years? Does he support Ellen Johnson Sirleaf political agenda that she used to run the country for 12 years? If the answer is no, then where is Joseph Boakai political party statement of purpose, and where is Joseph Boakai political plan for the country? What will be Joseph Boakai economic strategy that will be different from the Ellen Johnson political agenda economic strategy? I would like to see that. So Joseph Boakai on any interview should use that opportunity to explain to you out there what is he going to do differently than what Ellen Johnson Sirleaf did, and the thing that he believes George Weah is not doing. Joseph Boakai should be able to explain to you his plan, how better it is than George Weah, and how different it is from Ellen Johnson Sirleaf. Are you hearing me today? I hope you're hearing me. So let me progress here now. Joseph Boakai is about to join this conversation here. All right. So there you go. Let me see. All right. Let me see here. All right. All right. So let's listen to the interview here. All right.
What you need leadership about. What you need leadership about.
Now that we're talking about the human rights situation, and you rightly said,
the human rights situation. All right, guys, let me hold you there. All right, let me hold you there. I'm going to forward this video quick and bring it to the end so that way we can start it over. All right. So let's bring that. Let me take that off the screen, and then I'll go and bring it back again so you can start from the beginning. All right. All right. So let's see here. So it's starting over. There you go. So we're about to start it now. All right. So it's about to start now.
What you need leadership about.
Now that we're talking about the human rights situation, and you rightly said, unresolved crimes are definitely a big minus for the country. You were vice president at the time the Truth and Reconciliation Commission worked, and you were also vice president when the commission ended its work in June of 2009 and presented its final report. And there were several recommendations, and one of the most prominent recommendations for accountability is the War Crimes Court. We know at the time it was not constituted according to the TRC Act, Article 10, on a reporting requirement. It says that the president is responsible to implement the recommendations of the TRC, and that all recommendations shall be implemented. So where do you stand right now, Honorable Boakai, on the issue of a war crimes court for Liberia?
Master, some of the recommendations probably were executed. They had this Palawa meeting. But as an individual, when this war crime, when the TRC was set up, I must admit, my idea was that we went the way of the South African. But I see that in our situation, there's a lot of impunity. People who committed heinous crimes are not repentant. They don't feel remorse about it. And you cannot continue to condone that, because if the people who are responsible for some of the worst atrocities are the ones who also are in leadership position, of course, then you know very well that you hurt the people who have been injured. And I think people should be able to account, because if you don't feel sorry for what you did, then it means that you have the opinion that you can get away with anything. And that would also lead to impunities of all kinds, whether it is atrocities or impunities in the misuse of people's resources, all of these have to be dealt with. I believe strongly that they should be dealt with.
So let's analyze what Honorable Boakai had just said here, all right? But let's put this thing into context. Joseph Boakai does not have any integrity. He doesn't have any value or valuable principle as an individual. You just listen to Joseph Boakai, that people committed heinous crime and they should be held accountable. Joseph Boakai had a choice when he ran with Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to tell Ellen that, Ellen, this country is hurting. If we want to be the symbol of the new Liberia, we need to make sure that we do the right thing for the people. As Vice President, I just want to provide this suggestion to you that we should not work with individuals who harm the Liberian people. It is one thing as Vice President to recommend, to suggest, and it is up to the President. But once you say it, it becomes a legal reference for you and evidence. Joseph Boakai served with Ellen 2 terms. Prince Johnson, Ure, they all supported Charles Taylor. They all helped the Liberian people. Prince Johnson supported Ellen Johnson Sirleaf to get elected. But Joseph Boakai knew that Prince Johnson was a killer. And Prince Johnson committed heinous crime. But while Joseph Boakai was running along with Ellen, he didn't see any of those things. That is the dishonesty in Joseph Boakai today. He's not a man of his word. And that's why I'm seeing people who are supporting Joseph Boakai that believe that Joseph Boakai is the possible replacement for George Weah. They need to revise their thinking and begin to ask themselves some question. What Joseph Boakai has achieved over the years, and how sure are you? Because for every one of you guys here, y'all will know Joseph Boakai know who all participated in the war. But Joseph Boakai supported them to even sign concessions. He took photo with them. So why would Joseph Boakai come now to tell you that, oh, they need to be punished? Oh, because he's not in Unity Party anymore with Ellen now. But what happened to what he's supposed to speak about? What he's supposed to speak about? There's nothing that prevented him from speaking against those who committed heinous crime. When Joseph Boakai then became partner in that election, the United Nations were putting names out there about people who harmed the country. And speaking about harming the country, Joseph Boakai right now is friends with Benedict Ure, who supported Charles Taylor, who agreed with everything Charles Taylor was doing. So how can Joseph Boakai talk about wanting to be president to what? To prosecute people. Like Thomas Awaji said, we want to see Joseph Boakai political statement of purpose. We want to see that. And so many times I have asked for that, and nobody cared to answer those questions. Let me progress here with the question here, right? Let me progress.
Let me come in quick, Honorable Boakai. Back to the CPP. Every one of you had made it clear that you want to be president, meaning your colleagues in the CPP, except probably Benedict Ure, who may be seeing something different, and Yomli Kanga. But you have Alexander Cummings trying to go neck to neck with you. What is the relationship now in the internal of the CPP, so that the Liberian people hope it's not dashed come around the time when this whole CPP should be the way, to get the country on a better footing? What is that relationship?
Well, Shelton, I have talked about it, and I know that for every situation, every organization you have, there can be some problems, but people should be honest about what the situation is like. If you intend to work together, you should be able to be honest about the way you go about things. We had situations, and the last report that was made on the basis of our finding The report did not necessarily accuse anybody. In particular, the report said that during the administration of Mr. Cummings, the period over which he presided, that things went wrong. I think for me, it will be.
All right. Look, it is one thing to discuss something, and it's another thing to be around the bush. I don't know about you guys out there, but if a question is asked directly to you, the expectation should come with some clarity. The fact, number one, that Joseph Boakai is not looking in the camera. Yes, he's not looking in the camera. I'm sure his special assistant will tell him, say, Honorable Boakai, you need to look in the camera like this and speak. The fact that Joseph Boakai is not looking in the camera, I don't know whether it's medical related, or I don't know whether he's not being told to look in the camera. Somebody stand behind the camera there and say, keep your eyes on me, keep your eyes on me. The fact that he's not making that eye contact, there will be so many interpretations of why he's not looking in the camera. But I will say this. The question is asked of Joseph Boakai, what is the relationship within the CPP? Well, instead of him saying the relationship is okay, we should cut the answer short and move to the next phase of the question. Mr. Boakai decided now to explain things that he's not giving detail. Now, when he comes out to say there are something that happens, but we don't want to blame anybody, what the hell is that thing that happened to Joseph Boakai? You see, when you want to see a better leader, that leader should be detailed. Short answer, vague answer will not solve our problem. And that's the problem Joseph Boakai will bring to the presidency here. And he's not going to be my president because he's not very honest in answering questions. If you say something went wrong, what the hell is that thing? What the hell is that thing? Because we want to know. We want to know. We have a democracy that our leaders are supposed to be answering questions. When he come on and say something went wrong and that thing happened on a you cannot describe the thing, but you want to describe the subject, and that is the subject is Alexander Cummings. Okay, something went wrong. If you don't call Alexander Cummings and say, okay, how do you? I mean, why can't he answer the question like this? You know, we had an issue in the CPP administration. It's our internal situation. We are working on it. And we make sure that we come to a solution, but we are making progress, and the relationship is building. That would be a fair answer to the question. But when you come and say something happened, and then we all say, yeah, where's that thing? And then you jump and say, honor a particular member of the CPP, then you trying to bring back the same thing that you're trying to cover. That means there's no relationship that is improving in there. You follow me? There's no relationship. Because when you say something, you hide that thing from us. But then you bring in somebody's name, and then you want us to focus on that person because you want to re-energize. You want to breathe life. You want to create a political emotion on those things. That's exactly what he's doing over there. I don't know about you guys, but they're not going to pass by me. Joseph Boakai just wants to bring Cummings back in the conversation. He's a very nefarious man. Yes. Joseph Boakai is a very nefarious man. And let me say this to all the opposition people, whether you for ANC, CDC, I ain't talking about your party, your leader. I ain't got a damn about any of you guys. Because you guys, you don't talk to me, I don't talk to you. I always talking to my people who listen to me here. I'm giving them that information. So Cummings, when you sitting down somewhere and say, thank you, Randy, no thanks. Thanks, but no thanks. It's not for you. It's for my audience here. Because you don't listen. All right? You don't listen. All of you don't listen. So when I be pressing somebody to make my point, please don't be happy because I'm not talking for you. I'm talking for the Liberian people. So Joseph Boakai is a very dishonest person. He's not very transparent. And he's just a guy who wants to cause trouble. So that question he answered, he already stirred something up. I don't know about the Cummings people. But if I were Cummings, I won't respond to it. Let the public, like how we judging Joe Boakai here, because we know the head, the tail, the head, the tail, the side and side of what happened in the CPP. He shouldn't have said something like that. He was wrong. So let's get back to him again. Let's get back to him.
Be honorable enough to say, yes, things went wrong, but I think we can fix it. because a certain period to certain period, you presided. Whether you did it personally or somebody else did it, but it was under your watch. I think that is honorable enough when you say, yes, I know something went wrong.
Look, let me say this here. Let me say this here, guys. Let me say this to you guys here. Let me say this to you guys. I don't give a damn whether communists take my advice or not. All the insult that, of course, I've been giving to communists, Joseph Boakai is signatory to that. Let me say this again. All the insult that, of course, I have been raining on communists, Joseph Boakai is signatory to that. This old man, a failed old monkey. This is just a figurative speech or description. You see the monkey, the failed very sorrowful, but you don't know what in the heart for you. Joseph Boakai may appear to be somebody who, oh, he's an old man, he's very cool, but he was a nefarious individual. Very, very nefarious. That answer, he's tearing down communists to the lowest degree. He's not uniting what happened. Now you see why Ellen and Joseph Boakai don't get along, because Ellen is very vindictive and she show it to you. But Joseph Boakai is very secretive, but he's very nefarious. That's who Joseph Boakai is. Answer the question and start beating around the bush. So from this interview, it's clear now that Joseph Boakai is in support of whatever happening to communists. The man described about unity. Do you guys have, or are you guys bringing the party together now? Instead of Joseph Boakai looking for resolution, giving answer to provide you the idea or give you the idea that they are on their way to resolution, Joseph Boakai is still splitting the party together, putting the division between them. That's the answer he's giving down there. We already know what happened. Isn't the court came out or some lawyer came out and said nothing wrong? Why is Joseph Boakai not going after that? But he's saying something else. He's not a president for me. He doesn't know how to handle situation. And those that are behind Joseph Boakai, trust me, they're not going to help that country. They are just living in an illusion that when they get there, they want to get their own. But thank God I don't live in that country. When they got ready to fuck things up, y'all that live in that country, you will feel it. By that time, I will change my number. I will change my address. You will not be able to find me anywhere to ask me for father. I'll not give it to you guys. Because Joseph Boakai is very, very dishonest. He's very, very divisive individual. Speak on the issue. They didn't ask you what went wrong, Joseph Boakai. What happened in the CPP? Can you tell us? But what is the relationship now? Speak on the issue of the relationship, not on the division. But he chose to bring in the division. That's the kind of leader he wants to be. That is the kind of leader Joseph Boakai wants to be. He's a very divisive leader. Very, very divisive. Now you see why Samuel Kanyando fired him. Now you see why Amos Sawyer fired him, but Amos Sawyer is a loser. Now you see him coming back now to lie to Liberian people. But thank God some of us are still alive and know that Joseph Boakai was fired privately. Now you see why Ellen Johnson said he did not support Joe Boakai, because Ellen know Joe Boakai got a very, very inconsistent character. Let me progress here, folks. Let me progress.
You know something where we can fix it. That's the way people go about working in a group and trying to work as colleagues to be able to resolve issues and to restore the confidence of the people who supported you.
So the last question on that segment of the CPP, I hear that you guys got your convention coming up, and delegates will go to decide who's going to be representing the CPP. Will you be were you going to accept any outcome, whether it's not you or
Shelton, before the convention, we have to build a consensus.
okay?
We are not reserving to that. If the consensus doesn't work, we go to the VPS. We are not going into that. I don't see us jumping to the last part of it, because those processes have to be followed.
Now, let me remind you of something here. All right? Maybe you forgot. And I'm not going to bring all the video here. The question that Volcano just asked Joseph Boakai, he's not laying out all the different steps involved, right? But do you remember? All right? Do you remember when Super George asked Joseph Boakai, are you willing to be vice president? And Joseph Boakai said, I cannot be vice president. At that time, Joseph Boakai did not speak to the issue of the process involved. But he looked in the face of Super George at LBS and said, I cannot be vice president anymore. So why now Joseph Boakai is coming back and talking about process? The people already know Joseph Boakai is going to be their candidate in our party. But this old man is very dishonest. The dishonesty of Joseph Boakai will make him to lose again. He's not honest. Think about what he said all the time. Don't forget, you see, you guys on Facebook, you guys are so emotional, especially the supporters of Joseph Boakai and the other political party leaders. You allow your emotional control to take charge of your, rather than looking at the logic. Joseph Boakai came. That's why you see, so now it's good to do your due diligence. If Volcano Shelter had done your due diligence, like how I'm saying it now, and Joseph Boakai said we should take process and then pause that thing and say, Joseph Boakai, Honorable Boakai, I got a tip here for you. And say, let's listen to this. Joseph Boakai, are you willing to be a vice president? No, Super George, I cannot be a vice president. Honorable Boakai, do you still stand by that word? Or are you taking a different approach today? And the purpose for that reflection is to tell you that Joseph Boakai is very inconsistent. But because most of the guys that run these shows, they don't do their due diligence, or either because they are in the corner of some of the political leaders, they ask them easy questions. But on the J. Randy show, I don't care that two people here, you will get that information and you'll be empowered. So that way you can see who is actually going to help that country change. These guys are not honest. They are not honest. They are not asking the real question. Hello, didn't you hear Joseph Boakai the other time telling you in the presence of Super George that I cannot be vice president? And the man just asking, are you willing? And he said, oh, we got to go through the process. If we got to go through consensus. Why you didn't talk about the consensus? The inconsistency of Joseph Boakai is going to harm the country. It will harm the country. But people are not seeing it right now.
They're part of the agreement. They're part of a document, and we must make sure that those things happen. When I go back, we have to both put them back to the table and follow them. That's the process. The convention is the last part of anything.
So the outcome, you will live with it.
Oh, precisely. We follow them to the letter. Sure.
Okay. So let me bring Moses in. We're going to be looking at the next segment, the assessment of the political and governance climate, including the fight against graft and corruption in Liberia. Moses?
Yeah, Mr. Boakai, you have said a lot about happenings in Liberia. So if I were to put it to you, what would you say is your personal assessment of the current political situation in Liberia?
Moses, I think we all know, and it goes beyond ourselves internationally. We are not in the best of situation. The country, whether you take over, I mean, I don't mind people playing partisan role, but the reality on the ground is that the country is bleeding. Them to the letter, sure.
Okay. So let me bring Moses in. We're going to be looking at the next segment, the assessment of.
So guys, let us listen to the gentleman that is above the lady, Moses Sandy. He asked a very important question, and I want you and I to listen to that question again, and I will tell you what is going on. All right? So let's listen again.
The political and governance climate, including the fight against graft and corruption in Liberia. Moses?
Yeah, Mr. Boakai, you have said a lot about happenings in Liberia. So if I were to put it to you, what would you say is your personal assessment of the current political situation in Liberia?
Did you hear the question? Yes. I want to bring your attention to that question. Did you hear the question? The question is asked of Joseph Boakai. What is your political assessment of the situation in the country? I hope you got that question. What is your political assessment of the situation in the country? Now, let us put on our full attention and listen to how Boakai is going to answer that question. Let's listen now. All right? Let's listen to Boakai.
Moses, I think we all know, and it goes beyond ourselves internationally. We are not in the best of situation. The country, whether you take over, I mean, I don't mind people playing partisan role, but the reality on the ground is that the country is bleeding. You can see the moment you get to Monrovia, you see the situation on the ground and the streets, the filth of the city, the educational system, the children out of school, people selling in the street, disorderliness, and you can see what is happening. Insecurity, all of these. There's no way to sit down and deceive yourself and say things are all right when you know very well they're not all right. So we are not in a healthy situation.
So what?
All right. So here I wanted to say here. He gave his own assessment, and I'll give it to him. But what do you think will be the follow-up question to Joseph Boakai from you guys who are interviewing Joseph Boakai? What would be the follow-up question? He had given me a personal assessment, right? So let's listen to see what will be the follow-up question from you guys, and then I will tell you what's going on. All right. So let's listen.
What is the best way forward for Liberia?
Yeah, but you can't do it.
What is the best way forward? That's the question I want you to listen to now. Boakai had given his assessment. Children are in school, insecurity, bad economy, yada yada yada, right? So he's right. We're getting a big hand clap. But they gotta follow up with him now. What is the solution? Hello, before we get to the Joseph Boakai answer, who is Joseph Boakai again? He is a political candidate who wants to replace who? George Weah. He described what happened in the country. Now they're asking him now for technically for his political party statement of purpose. What would be his agenda to change what he listed for you? Let's listen to how he's going to answer that question now. Yes. Are you ready? Let me progress.
I can't sit here and say the best way forward for Liberia is for the leadership to see that the country is not being governed.
Joseph Boakai just told you, I cannot provide an answer for you, but the leadership of the country. You already identified the problem that the leadership cannot solve. And the man asks you, what is the way forward? Then you telling the man, I cannot provide any answer for you, but the leadership in the country. What does that tell you about Joseph Boakai, folks? This man absolutely, he has no plan. He will identify the problem, but he got no solution. Listen to him more here. Listen to him more.
Properly, that the situation is not good. When a foreign diplomat can openly, for the first time that I see, sit down and say, your city is the dirtiest in the world. That had never happened before. But we know the truth. We know what is happening. So it's not my role to strengthen that now. It's the role of the leaders that are in charge to.
Isn't this time the perfect opportunity for Joseph Boakai to inform his followers what his administration will do? think about any politician, South Africa, Ghana, Kenya, America, China, whatever some form of democracy is practiced, and a political leader is asked such a question, what is the way forward? You don't have to be in there before you look for the way forward. Do you think a Boakai has a plan? That's why I keep asking you, what is Boakai's plan that is going to separate him from Ellen and will be better than George Weah? The man asking, what is your assessment in the country? Boakai lay all the assessment. We all like, yes. What is the way forward? Boakai said he cannot provide an answer for you. Until he get elected, then he will determine the way forward. You see some of the incompetence, you see the people around Boakai, how they just using Boakai to get up there. If I were to ask you, you went to Liberia, and I said, what is the situation, how the situation in the country there? And you told me everything. And I said, what do you think are some of the ways that we can solve the problem? Oh, I'm not in leadership, so I can't do anything. You want to tell me if people drinking dirty water, you will not even tell me, say, Randy, I think the water need to be filtered a little bit. But Joseph Boakai is telling you that he cannot answer any question right now. That tells me that Joseph Boakai is not ready to be president of the country. He doesn't have what it takes. What it takes means he doesn't have the leadership. He doesn't have the strategy. He doesn't have the plan. I'm not against Joseph Boakai because I hate Joseph Boakai. I see Joseph Boakai as somebody who is not ready to be president of that country. If this old man cannot answer that simple question, Joseph Boakai, come up with a solution. The suffering in the country, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. The insecurity, we're going to do X, Y, and Z. My economic team, my security team from my party will do X, Y, Z. The statistic of X, Y, Z is up here. We are monitoring that statistic, and our plan will focus on X, Y, Z. Joseph Boakai is telling you, and then you got people cheering for Joseph Boakai. You follow me now? Now you see why people don't watch my show? Because I'm not here to come play fun with them. All the people you see supporting Joseph Boakai, they didn't get a damn about that country. And Joseph Boakai is proving it here to you guys tonight. Two questions. What is the problem? And what is the solution? What I always told you guys on my show, the central message of any political party is identify the problem, find solution to the problem, and determine the direction of the country. Joseph Boakai cannot articulate that. He cannot articulate that. Any any political party statement of purpose or any politician, they will be able to identify the problem, they will discuss about the solution, and they will tell you where the direction of the country wants to go. And my question to Joseph Boakai, what is the current situation in the country now? And what direction Joseph Boakai want to take this country into? That's your Joseph Boakai there for you. You guys are going to put our country into a mess. You need to find somebody better. You need to find somebody better. Or just put your we are right back in there. But not Joseph Boakai. The fact that the man cannot tell you that he got his alternative solution. An alternative solution to what is happening in the country. And say, I cannot tell you now. What makes him to be a candidate better than George Weah? Wow. Anyway, let me progress.
To know that the situation is real. We have problem in the country. That's what, and don't make reference to the past, because the reason you come to leadership is that you tell people that you can do better, that you are there to correct them. So to make reference to what did you people do and what didn't you people do, that's not the point. That's why they brought you there. So the leadership must, exercise that leadership. That's why when you become a leader, they give you all the resources, material, human, so you can make good use of them. And that's the role you're supposed to play. So the leadership, you understand that that's what they.
So he developed his own question and he developed his own answer. He developed his own question and he developed his own answer. But that was not the question, though. The question was, what direction would you want to take the country to? And then he came out and started to explain, but you're going to take this, you're going to take this. This old man is very incompetent, folks. He doesn't have what it takes to be a leader. I'm sorry. You guys are going to put somebody, the wrong person in there, and that would be Joseph Boakai. This prop, he's not fit to be in there. I'm not lying to you guys. He's not fit to be in there. He's not fit to be in there. Let's listen more.
Yeah. So the leadership.
Are you in any way implying that we as Liberia is a failed state?
We may have not come to that because I'm not the one to come.
Now, instead of this guy, you see, one thing I don't like about Liberian politics, including the journalists, this guy who asking the question now, he knows very well the question the Pop answer is not in the right direction. Instead of him following up with the question and say, but I know you identified the issue in the country, right? Yes, children out there, poor environment, not so much many job in the country. But what will a Boakai administration, just in case of the conversation, what will a Boakai administration do to change things around? They are now willing to ask those questions because the very guy you see here, some of them are also looking for a job. They are looking for a job. So they want to ask the pimple question. And if they don't begin to ask the guy the tough question, we are going nowhere. Now, because Boakai had explained about we are now, he's leaning in that Boakai corner now to start asking questions about we are. But we already know, the man already told that we are in that problem. What is the direction that you want to take the country? Boakai cannot answer that question. And then Moses guy now is leading Boakai in the wind or the direction of the wind to make this thing. That's not a good interview for me, folks. That's not a good interview for me. Yes. They're not making Boakai to be strong. Boakai is not convincing to me. He may be convincing to his follower, but not to me. They're making him very, very lazy. He's not ready to be president.
But there's something we say that in a situation where the event that lead to that failed state, when the country is created, country of Liberia as the poorest, when the country of Liberia said everything is on the downside, probably we may not be there, but we probably might be heading there, and I pray that we don't.
Okay. So let's look at the government's commitment to fighting graft. Do you think Mr. Weah and his officials are committed to fighting corruption in Liberia?
Well, we are all fighting. We are all committed to saying it.
Okay.
The only way to show it is by doing it. So we look forward to him doing it because all of us, the same thing that you say and I say, it sounds like an opposition saying it, but we all know the situation in the country. So we hope that Mr. Weah can begin to do something that will in the Liberian society that they are fighting corruption. I haven't seen much of it.
Okay. Okay. So how is the economic?
You see the Pop? It's a very corny Pop. And I will try to expose him tonight. It's a very sneaky Pop. When a negative question is asked against George Weah, he will answer it good. But when they ask him about all the negative things against Weah, what positive solution do you have? He cannot answer it. I want you to keep that pattern that he's building for himself. He will say the government, the country right now under government is so bad off, nothing is working right now. But then when they ask him, what will you do? Then he will reply and say, I'm not in the leadership right now. All right. Is the government fighting corruption? Well, I know what they're doing over there, but for me, I'm not seeing it. But then what will you do in your administration to avoid corruption? Oh, I'm not in the leadership, so I will not say anything towards that. He's not being honest. You are seeing a man that will cause more problem for you and our country than what you're going through right now. These journalists are not honest. I don't see an honest journalist asking the tough question to challenge the political leaders. Because if they understand that for 174 years, our country have been going through missed opportunity and we need to find the rightful people, they have been very dishonest to themselves. They are not holding the guys up to any high standard of the office they want to take. And that's what I want you to understand from me here. I want you to understand that a Boakai cannot tell you what direction he wants to take the country, even though he identified the problem that is happening under the Weah administration or within the Weah administration in Liberia and cannot provide an alternative. What makes you think that Boakai is the best person? He's not. For me, he's not. He cannot articulate any issue. Neither does he have any solution at all. Boakai is not a choice. Eddie knew it. Most of the people know it. The people who are putting Boakai up front because they feel that most of the older generation and the guys who are in their mid 30s, 40s, that don't see any light at the end of the tunnel and see Joe Boakai as their last bus stop. That's majority of that category of people that want to support Joe Boakai because they don't care what Joe Boakai plan is. They don't care to ask Joe Boakai whether he really going to separate himself from Ellen and be better than George Weah. That's the question I want you to take away today. Can Joe Boakai, can Joe Boakai tell us whether he support Ellen's political agenda that he's worked alongside with her for 12 years? Does he still support that? If the answer is no, does Joe Boakai have his political agenda that is different from Ellen? And what is that agenda starting with the economy? What is his economic plan? And is that plan going to be better off than George Weah? What direction George Weah is going and what will be his direction? If Joe Boakai answers the question with supporting evidence, then I can come here and tell you, say, your guy a president in waiting who will at least give you guys the hope. But I don't see it in Joe Boakai. I don't see it.
Situation is our understanding that the government intends to infuse.
They're just asking again, what is the economic situation? And you heard it. What is the economic situation? Now, let's listen again. Apparently, you missed the first one. I paused it to give you the opportunity to listen to the second question again. It is a direct question to Joe Boakai. What is the economic situation in the country? Let's listen to Joseph Boakai now answer.
Millions of Liberian dollars, and the current exchange rate between the U.S. and the Liberian dollars, it seems that there has been some form of appreciation in the Liberian dollars. However, the prices of goods on the market remain extremely high. When you make up this situation?
Well, that's when you say whether appreciation, whether the currency is appreciating and the prices are remaining the same or even higher. The thing about printing money is that if that's all we're going to do, soon then the inflation rate will overtake the country, because if all you're doing printing money and the sources of the economy, the investment climate, it's not improved, and there are no new foreign money infusion in the country, whether printing money is going to help us. I don't think that's the answer. I don't think that is the answer. And I do believe that there's a lot of hardship for people who have been gathering their resources, their Liberian dollars, with the hope of purchasing in the US, and all of a sudden the rate falls so drastically over a short period of time. You can know that an increased hardship on the people.
How government in terms of adhering to the rule of law?
Joseph Boakai didn't do too well with that question. And that's one of the reasons why I'm calling on all political party leaders in our country. You need to establish a political policy department. It is a requirement. It is a voluntary requirement that each political party put together a team of policy individual. The man told you that the US rate is dropping. What is your assessment? And you say, oh, when the money drops, that does not mean that it's going to solve the problem. But then what do you have in regards to that? He cannot articulate that. This answer was very poor. The poorest so far. Yeah, very, very poor question. Answer. Very, very poor. Joe Boakai got no idea about the economy, how the economy of any country works. He got no idea. He just walked the answer. He answered the question like a 10th or 5th grade student. Nothing Joseph Boakai know about the economy. He got no idea about the economy. He cannot even articulate anything. What is driving the US rate to go down, or why is so the way it is? Joseph Boakai don't have no. All Joseph Boakai people are just people who come and act like they know everything, but they know nothing. That question about the economy, Joseph Boakai can. So that tells you also that Joseph Boakai doesn't have any economic plan for that country. He got absolutely no idea. No idea. You guys are staring at another issue that will come upon the Liberian people. You need to look for some. And I'm not here to recommend anybody to you guys. I think Thomas may have asked that question. Who do you support? I don't support anybody, but what I would say here, I need to see a leader, as you call a political leader, who will come here and tell you or give you 5 political party statement of purpose that will commit him or her to solving our Liberian problem little by little. 2, build a policy team around him or her who will give every one of us the idea as to how they are going to begin to take on the challenges in the country based on their policy as they discuss one issue to another, the environment, the economy, the infrastructure, the health, and discuss this thing based on the party political agenda. And let us get to see who the individuals are with their background and education and experience. Until I see those things, I'm not going to support any of these guys. Joseph Boakai right now is the least that I have seen so far, because I would like to see more interview. So Joseph Boakai going and having this series of interview is good, but he is the least so far. You know how come, like in the English Premier League or any league, when the first round go, you see all the teams that get good points. Joseph Boakai is going from one place to another, but this old man got no idea about running anything in our country. That tells me that he doesn't even have a plan, because a plan will encourage you to run your agenda. Joseph Boakai got absolutely nothing. Let's make progress here, folks.
Moses, the government, yeah, we can tell. The rule of law. You see what is happening. People are being killed everywhere. You can see.
But they asked the Pope a question. What do you make of the rule of law in the country? Then you tell it generally, you see. What sense does that make? The question is being asked of you. What do you make of the rule of law in the country? That answer should be coming from you. My make of the rule of law in the country as I live in that country. And then you all learn it. But you say, Moses, you see and I see. That is more of a kindergarten answer than an elementary answer. All right? You see how Joseph Boakai is so vulnerable when you got the wrong people around him? They're not prepping the man to discuss any issue. These guys you see on Facebook passing around here, they only want job. That's all they want. And they know that Liberian people don't believe in some of the things that we try to bring clarity to. What will you tell the general you see what's going on in the country? Now listen to how you're going to finish that answer. Listen to him.
Or the violation of human rights, and you say how they adhering to the rule of law. I think they'll be the best people to answer because we are there. We praying for our safety. We praying to make sure that our people can.
You see how he misinforming the people now? You see how Joseph Boakai misinforming the people? Now you see how he's misinforming the people? What is your assessment in the country as it relates to security? Moses, you see what happened in the country. People dying here, people doing this, let's wait for the government. It's almost like someone who left from here, a private citizen who went to the country. They don't want to be nobody in the country. And came across you and you ask them, what is your assessment of the security in the country? Oh, people just die in the country there, people just doing there, let's wait to see. Joseph Boakai, you say you want to be president, and you cannot provide any alternative answer to what happening in the country. That is why I'm saying today, she only here, Joseph Boakai supporter need to revise their assumption that he is a direct replacement of George Weah. No. From what I'm seeing right now, Joseph Boakai has stand no chance to even replace you for any position you're holding right now because he's a very, very incompetent in articulating the issue. That means he had no idea if killing is going on in the country. What would the Joseph Boakai administration be like? Joseph Boakai is not even selling himself to say, you know what, these are the things that are going on in the country. Indiscriminate killing. Government is not investigating. People are living innocently. And I believe that a Joseph Boakai administration, such a thing will not happen. Because for every life that is taken in a very suspicious way, other than a natural death, I will do XYZ. Joseph Boakai is not selling himself to you like that. Let's leave it to the government. Let's leave it to the government. That is a very perfect way to run a campaign against Joseph Boakai. Joseph Boakai, those of you who are in the CDC camp and the opposition, you need to take the clip. Joseph Boakai, what is your assessment of the security situation? Let's leave it with the government. Then the government can come and say, we are making progress. What the government needs to do now is to begin to find closure to most of the killing and start prosecuting people. Joseph Boakai is done when it comes to security and the protection of Liberia because he got no clue. He's telling you, let's leave it to the government. How can you be a political leader and you want to leave things to the existing government? Does that make you to be a leader to have control over the country? No.
Move around freely and adjust it will be rendered to the people. We can tell that there's a lot of effort that's needed to be made.
Come in, Maza.
No, I'm coming right now. This is the intermission. I will quickly want to remind our viewers and listeners wherever you are across the world. You're in the issues room tonight. We have with us the former Vice President of the Republic of Liberia, His Excellency Ambassador Joseph Human Boakai, who is also the standard bearer of the Unity Party and current chairman of the collaborating political parties. He's visiting the U.S. He's here as part of his uh, continued, networking to build the needed support for Liberia. He said that he's here uh, visiting family and friends and continuing the network, but he's also hoping to carry some medical supplies back to the country in the coming weeks. His itinerary is jam packed. He's here with us for another, probably 10, 15 minutes. But just before we continue, we want to say to you, Honorable Boakai, please don't let this be your first and your last time with us here in the issues room. We're looking forward to many of this kind of conversation, especially when we're gearing toward 2023. This is the place. Hopefully, we can talk more about Liberia and hoping that, the political landscape will be silver enough that our people can be informed to make the right decision politically. But before Masa coming with the next segment, this has been a burning concern of many of the folks uh, regarding you, Honorable Boycott. They know that you're an honest man. They know that you've served the country well, but they don't see what have you done. Some people say, "What has Boycott done? What's the tangible?" Could you just say one or two of the things that you've done so the Liberian people tonight can hold on to something and say, instead of just this man is so honest, that's all he is, what else can he show?
Okay, when I left school,
You see, Volcano Shelton is not being fair in his question. All right, let me tell you why. Volcano Shelton is leading Boakai to answering the question by providing him with some part of the answer already. The people know you are an honest man. It's none of your business to say that. It's not your business. Ask Joseph Boakai, from your professional background, from your ethical standard, how can you present yourself based on these different categories? Who is Joseph Boakai? Why does he want to be president? And let Joseph Boakai explain. But you can say Joseph Boakai is an honest. People say you are honest man, you got honesty, and you work. What is your experience? That is a very premature question over there. But again, some of these guys really want to get job. So they will ask the easier question. These guys are looking for job. They will ask the easier question, folks. Now listen to how they make them answer the question.
Yes, when I left college, the first thing I did was to go up country and work. And I worked with LPMC. There, we managed the agriculture program. We planted the nursery for coffee, cocoa, and oil palm, distributed it to farmers. We purchased produce from farmers, we mail it, we ship it. LPMC was a very viable entity. And because of what we did there, normally when you are transfer of country, it is expected that you remain there, but I was made a first Liberian managing director, meaning that I will be the first person who has the best orientation in the agriculture sector, because I went from planting, nurseries, and things, from marketing, coffee, cocoa for LPMC, very viable. Then you go to be the Minister of Agriculture, managing huge agriculture projects of LCADP, BCADP, NCRDP, presiding over 20 supporting boards and working there. And I work, people always ask, what did you do? I don't can say it on TV and recount all what. Unfortunately, maybe our country got record of only maybe people are working now, but it is because of what I have done that I've been in that country, moving from one position to the other without application. I went to LPRC.
So you work in this country, you are working in this country, you know your role you play in this country, whether you go to work as a janitor, as a supervisor, everyone all got a job tax to carry out, right? But there are specific job title you have that you can articulate very well, how you implement a program, how you manage people, and what was the program you implemented and how successful the program became. Joe Boakai did not say anything like that to you. Joe Boakai is telling you his experience after he left college. He went up and we worked. It's one thing to say we work, which is good, but who was in charge of the we work? The next thing you hear, you see, I begin managing director, or I begin head of LPMC, and have all the different corporation. But what is the tangible? What is the legacy? What did you do that you can pinpoint to? But listen to what he just said before I pause this thing. People ask me what I did, but because we don't have record of these things, that's what. Joseph Boakai is one thing for you to tell us what you did. Then for you to say because you don't have record somewhere, that means that it was never done. No. We know you worked during the Samuel Kanyadu time. We know what you did there. But for Joseph Boakai to tell you, oh, I mean, they always ask me, what did I do? And because there's no record to show that, that means Joseph Boakai did not do anything. He didn't do anything. So everything he's saying is all lies. He may have worked to these places, but he never had any leadership achievement. Nothing. Joseph Boakai did not give you any reason why he held somebody's position and what did he do then. Listen to him again.
I was in that country to go there to help put some reform program in place, and I did it. And I work in the even the private sector, where we have helped a lot of students getting scholarship, going on program. There are 5.
What type of reform did you put in place? What were the situation? Give us a summary. Well, when I get there, things were upside down, but I make it to be down and up. Joe Boakai, I want to tell you. So anybody can explain exactly what Joe Boakai is explaining here. Somebody sent me there. They want me to do this. The man is very incompetent. He had no recollection. So if somebody telling you that he or she occupy a position and they cannot give you whatever that role or function of that position they held, it was never done. It was never done. And that's what Joe Boakai want you to understand here. He has no tangible. He didn't do anything in a role. Nothing. And we're going to expose it here tonight.
Children are took amputees, and we've been sending them to the state for the last 6-7 years. They adjust their prostheses and then they bring them back. You can talk to we have some friends that the Weeks, Gorilla Weeks, and the husband. I mean, we work with those programs. We have provided a lot of relief items, container loads of food supplies. We used to bring from our friends in London, and school supplies, like I'm bringing medical supplies. If I just recount all of it, but you know, my politics wasn't the matter of trying to showcase everything that you do, but I can tell you a number of people have benefited from what we have done. The only guy now who is a neurosurgeon in Liberia, you ask him today, he's there because I encourage him to come there. We've done a lot of things. We have helped schools, we have helped hospitals, we have provided relief services. Right now, I have about people in the Bombay area, you know, that's a ghost city, who have moved there from different counties, who are farmers, have access to no land. We got land. We are taking care of them. 127 acres. They are growing food. They are harvesting right now. We are getting some things for them. My nature is to be helpful to people, to help people to become better. And it wasn't there to be put on the Facebook and all of these kind of things. But there's nobody in Liberia who can say they've done a lot for that society than I have.
And I think you're right. You know, most of the time the people, you know, glorify the people who corrupt the society and pretend like they're putting it back into the society. But one of the most important thing here tonight, you've been.
So you listen to the journalist right now, and I think you're right. And I think you're right. So Joseph Boakai explained everything. But what about being a vice president? What did he do? You want to know the role of the vice president? The role of the vice president is to be in the Senate, to turn things around, to say no to certain things and say yes to certain things. Many of you guys know that Joseph Boakai, during the early administration, signed so many bogus deals that gave Liberia no hope. Another major function that Joseph Boakai had control over, it was the group of 77. You listen to Joseph Boakai saying he had somebody with a handicap issue. The group of 77 that is people who were born with physical deformity or challenges. It is the vice president's responsibility to ensure that those people live a better life. Joseph Boakai did not say anything in regards to what he did for the group of 77, but Joseph Boakai was getting money from the government as part of a budget to take care of the group of 77. But Joseph Boakai could not articulate anything like that. And it's not something that was done 40 years ago, just less than what? 12 years ago now, 13 years, or let's say 14 years ago. But Joseph Boakai cannot tell you what he did for the group of 77. Joe Howard Taylor right now is in charge of the group of 77. Every vice president sent over, brought in that policy. Every vice president in our country, under a legitimate government, is responsible to help the group of 77. But Joseph Boakai cannot tell you today. That old man is not somebody for me to rely on.
Able to establish and pretend like as a non-corrupt man. And I think that the Liberian people should give you that prop rather than looking for monuments and so forth. Let me just quickly bring in Masa to the next segment. She will be looking at human rights. Masa?
Honorable Boakai, you spoke about the culture of impunity in Liberia and the need to do something about it. But I didn't hear you say what exactly you will do to help address the culture of impunity in Liberia. So my question to you, sir, is, will you commit to the full implementation of the Truth and Reconciliation Commission's recommendations, especially accountability recommendations, such as the call for the establishment of a war crimes court? Sir, if you become president tomorrow, will you work rather with the United Nations and other partners to establish the war crimes court for Liberia?
I said, so help me God. My job will be to make sure that the culture of impunity is removed.
Very fair question there, folks. Very fair question. That little question is based on what we call the political party statement of purpose. It is a yes or no answer. No with an explanation, yes with also an explanation. What you think would be Joseph Boakai's answer to that? Your guess is just as mine. I don't know, but let's listen to him.
From Liberia. That is what got us where we are. We people don't believe that they owe anybody explanation, that they owe anybody apology. And you can't live in a country where so many people have been hurt and you disregard that and you continue to want to lord it over them. This is not the way we go. Every human being has a right to live, and if you violate their rights and you don't repent, you are not remorse about it, you should account for it.
Rule of law. Speaking about the rule of law, Honorable Boakai, in recent time past,
Joseph Boakai did not answer that question, folks. He did not answer that question. Can you give all your words that if you become president, you will work with the International Human Rights Organization and through your government commit yourself to implementing the TRC? The answer is yes. I will definitely work with every organization, human rights organization, to ensure that those who were harmed and became victims of this war in our country will go through the TRC or the Economic and War Crime Code. He said, so help me God. People have committed heinous crime in there, and we'll see what to do. That's not a commitment. That is just a statement he gave. That is a comment. He didn't answer yes to that question because the yes will hold you accountable. Joe Boakai don't want to be accountable. It was a direct question to say yes, I will, no, I won't. Like I said, if you say yes, you should follow with explanation. They didn't ask and say, Joe Boakai, What is the process in how you get people to get prosecuted? Why? Will you commit yourself? He didn't answer that question. I ain't there for you guys, folks. Joe Boakai there for you guys. You're going into another problem.
The Supreme Court of Liberia issued certain verdicts and also came down with certain rulings. Like, for example, in the case of Honorable Yeke Koluba of the legislature, the Supreme Court ruled that his benefits he should get, one, he should be reinstated, and then also his benefits and salaries that have been withheld should be paid him. And they also came out recently with another ruling in favor of former Defense Minister Brani Samuka. But we see that none of those rulings have been adhered to by the other two branches of government. Sir, is the Liberian Supreme Court at this time a waste of time, since they don't seem to enjoy the respect and I would say maybe confidence of their colleagues in the other two branches of government? Or where is the Supreme Court? Is it a two-flair bulldog?
Massa, each of us got educated and we came to serve our people, irrespective of what position you hold. You must always know that you can only change the rules when you're in the game. If people who preside over those cases don't understand that tomorrow they too could face the same situation, you have to respect the law. You have to know that what goes around comes around. I'm not there to go and judge, but we all are there and we all are part of that society. We are all not happy about what's happening. But again, we have to respect the Supreme Court as the final court and to make decisions for our country. But let those that are there also understand that they are under obligation to render justice. And they should be reminded that the laws that are put in place, we are getting to a situation where almost our three branches of government are almost been silent on anything, and this is scary for a country that supposed to adhere to democracy. It is scary. People should know that we cannot get investors. We cannot be able to run our economy. We are not able to provide security for anybody if we don't respect the rule of law. I think people who are in those positions will understand this will haunt everybody.
I think my last question on this segment. Sir, you are chairman of the CPP at this time.
So Joe Boakai is telling you, after the question is asked of him, do you see the Supreme Court as a toothless institution? And he said, oh, we expect to do this, we expect to do this. See, Joe Boakai doesn't answer questions directly, which is very unfair to the people of Liberia, especially those who really want to see a bold and very articulating leader. He beat around the bush and doesn't give a straight good answer. Even beating around the bush, what he tried to explain, it doesn't make sense. Joe Boakai want to talk about the Supreme Court. The same Supreme Court that Ellen said they were not fit to prosecute anybody. The same Supreme Court under Joe Boakai and Ellen administration that said that the cases as it relate to some of the audit findings could not be prosecuted. That I see Joe Boakai come to talk about the Supreme Court today. This man got no shame. He ain't got no shame. Anyway, we're almost done, folks. We're almost there.
And you say you're working towards helping to resolve the issues that is going on with the CPP at this time. I mean, I'm just being hypothetical. In case the CPP crumbles, are we going to?
That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. That's not true. Joe Boakai did not say he's working towards it, unless he said it somewhere else. But as far as the interview go, Joe Boakai was asked the first question about the relationship. He went out there and started to blame Cummings for things that he did not make you to understand. So when Massa say he's working towards it, maybe Massa, just for the sake of this show, what we're doing the replay and commentary or the question, I did not hear Joe Boakai saying that he found a solution to the problem as it relates to CPP conflict resolution. Joe Boakai was throwing blame. So, Massa, I hope you will review the tape, especially your tape, and get to hear yourself and Joseph Boakai as well.
He, Honorable Joseph Boakai, going solo as a candidate, a presidential candidate from the Unity Party?
Massa, it is not my role of my life which to serve the public to guide off the stage and win the desire of the people. But it is also my desire that Liberia provides a viable alternative to Mr. Weah. And I think everything we do should be geared toward the interests of the Liberian people.
All right, quickly before Moses coming, let me and add this piece to the last segment of Massa. For these branches of government to be held accountable, we need a robust law enforcement governing body. Because if the Supreme Court passes a judgment, the enforcers should be either the police, some kind of parastatus, security parastatus. Unfortunately, what we found our police force to be now is usually either the president's police force or the army is the president. Like in the past, that brought our civil war. Our national army was labeled Dole Army. How will you change that if you become president to make the people who should enforce be accountable to the country and not to any branch of government? How will you change that?
Shelton, that's what I call leadership. Leadership is to provide that leadership with an enabling environment for the rule of law, for the implementation and of fair play for the people to exist. You can only do that when you are a true leader, conscious of your responsibility. When the country takes its resources and committed to you, they are not saying they are yours to use responsibly. You can only do that when you're a true leader. And I can't sit here to define what a true leadership is, but I have exhibited that in areas that I have worked and I've become successful. And I think I have that knowledge and that understanding of the need of the people, the need of our country.
So Shelton presented a situation to Joseph Boakai about the security environment, how people label the security sector, especially in favor of the ruling or the government. Joe Sawyer, Ellen Police, we are police. And the question is posed to him, how will you do things differently? And again, long story short, or long answer short, Joseph Boakai is saying, I'm not in a position. But this is the man who want to become president. So the whole interview here, Joseph Boakai, with all the questions they're asking about his own president leadership decision up to this point, about what will he do, Joe Boakai has not answered any question in regards to that. This old man is incompetent. Now you see why these young guys are going around making noise about Joseph Boakai. Because they got no agenda, they got no plan. They feel that because these few guys got friends on Facebook, Joe Boakai feel that what made him president of Liberia. So you hear me, Joe Boakai, he cannot give you any answer to an alternative based on what is happening on the ground. He will identify things that happen on the ground, right? We'll give it to him. But as far as Joe Boakai giving you solution, like I said, every political candidate, political leader must have identified the problem in the country, find the solution, and tell you what the direction of the country is and where he wants to take the country. Joseph Boakai, all the three things, only got one right. He identified the things that happen in the country, not just we are government. Let us give him a check back. But as far as finding solution and the direction where he wants to take the country, Joe Boakai failed two of those things and only passed one. And just right now, they're asking, what will be your own sense of creating a police environment that will not be labeled as the Joseph Boakai police, that it is being called the We Are Police today? And Joseph Boakai is telling you that because I'm not in position, that's something that the government got to worry about. Why do you always say? You guys always say if the New Year will be good or the Christmas will be good, you can tell from the Eve, right? A Joe Boakai cannot tell you what plan, strategy plan he's supposed to put in place. Just to give us a synopsis. To even say the police will not wear uniform, for example. Joe Boakai cannot give you one answer for you to think about. Then you think Joe Boakai that somebody will be president. You're wasting your time in a country behind Joe Boakai. Those guys are only behind Joe Boakai because they want something from Joe Boakai. That may progress.
And that becomes not the rule, they're all over to make sure that the people live a happy life, that they have food to eat, that their children go to school, that women are made to be secure, that their rights are protected. And that's what leadership is about. And that's what I can provide.
Thank you. Moses, the last segment, relationship.
Yeah, before relationship, kind of quickly, let me ask Mr. Boakai. I heard him, articulate, the qualities of a good leader, the qualities of what he considered good leadership. So, Mr. Boakai, are you telling us that Mr. Weah is not measuring up to those qualities?
Well, I think one of the things that I know that although all of us, you live in the diaspora, and I'm very happy that you providing these kind of forum because it is because you are concerned. You are here, but you still want a home that you can call home. From all indications, I don't have to be the one to declare that way, but we all, I mean, it is common knowledge that true leadership has not been provided in the country. And this is why we will say that Mr. Weah should become a one-time president because he is not providing leadership. And that's why country is going the way it's going. And that's why most of you, with all the good intent and the desire.
So, anyway, the video did not end like the way it should, because as he explained it, it was just cut off. But before we reach that point of this recording, so everything he was not able to answer, everything that he did not provide good answer to, that is why we should be a one-term president. Do you really think Joseph Boakai is a direct replacement for George Weah based on what you listened to tonight? Do you really think a man who doesn't have a plan to tell you where he wants to take the country, a man who would ask what is the alternative, he said, I'm not in leadership? Is that the man? For me, if you are a supporter of Joseph Boakai and assuming Joseph Boakai is a direct replacement for George Weah, you are wasting your time. You need to resharpen your thinking